everyone. Oh, there was Pope, but he'll be back in just a second. Hey, Quan. It is February 13th, Tuesday, the 14th, Wednesday for some of us. Welcome to your daily fix. We are going to watch Can a Crypto Pope do some technical analysis today, and hopefully some of it will sink in. Hey, today, as usual, we are going to check the market cap, dominance, Bitcoin, and ETH. And then we're going to catch up on the few that we've been looking at, Cosmos, Kasuma, Phantom. And we're always going to check in on Casper because it's been an interesting ride to watch where that's been going. Today, we're going to mark up new stuff from the beginning. Of course, do your own research on these companies and always ask questions in the Discord. But we'll be looking at PYR Vulcan Forge, Senate, which is a gaming token. I was going to say coupon. And Filecoin, which is Web3 storage. So, and then some 3 token teasers. We're going to 32 things to follow that we're looking at. And so, yeah, let's friggin' get to it because we ran overtime. Can a Crypto Pope join me unless you're elbow deep in charts?
No, just taking a few things. Let's jump right into it.
Yeah, man.
We are good to go. The cash flow cycle, money. What did we talk about yesterday? We had a nice injection that we were expecting to see pullback. And what has happened? We have the pullback and we have the critical greed. We can expect some money or some consolidation right on this weekly mark that we've put there. And you can see how much money that really was. Probably a lot from its in total out 69.83 and it's retraced now to 32. So we've had a little of it come back, but that's why we're starting to see our sales starting on these alts. Dominance right now just starting to drop, which is exactly what we want to see. And the more this goes down and the crypto cap stays the same, we're going to see a little bit of run in our alts. We are still waiting for this. We're not there yet. It's going to take a while, but the money is coming and we have these healthy little steps that we keep talking about. The retracements. Soon we want that to curl and then down, healthy retracements, and then down. When that happens, tough to tell, but dominance going down, cap staying up signifies our alts running. Bitcoin. I mean, we said it's probably going to consolidate in this area, and it's Bitcoin, so it always has the potential to just rocket through either direction and try to stabilize. We know this box was our weekly consolidation. So we said it made sense for it to consolidate because we've had such a hella up. Doing exactly what we thought it would do. Fighting around those weird even numbers, 50,000, 49 fives. We also talk about that quite frequently. Our critical greed, our critical greed indicator has fired. We have a straight up channel on the days. All this still makes sense. It's fought back a little. It's fought back a lot here, which was this support resistance from before. Bitcoin doing exactly what we think and should. I don't think we'll see a massive pullback. It would take some pretty crazy news to have that happen. Not saying it can't happen. We do see it from time to time. But all things are indicating our next area of target and fight is this 55, 56 to probably, what is that, 60? Yeah. I reckon we'll see it in here. And then this will hopefully be more over here versus news that, may take it down or something. So we'll leave that still there for worst case scenarios, but doing what we thought, staying within the areas. speaking of doing what we've thought, I mean, you've seen the earlier shows. You can go back. We deleted the TA, but we've been just watching Ethereum do exactly what we wanted it to do. There's our pull down. There's our level. Now we're hoping for the consolidation, and off we go. Ethereum still has a lot of legs. It hasn't had its run. Now it's kind of curled because we probably did it on a funnier time frame. But we can see we're still got this nice spread. Why does it want to curl? I don't have the man enough. Until we get that curl, we know we have room to run. I don't think we're going to have that curl for a while with Ethereum. We're going to start to retest these areas, and soon we're going to be back into these areas in here, the high twos, low threes. Just going to do it in steps. Just like we did here. I'm not saying we can't get these every now and then, but it brings retracements. So I don't know if anyone saw our Twitter post today. 8 days ago, I did a stream of what I call hunting, looking for entries. And if you watch that stream and you listen to a couple of the entries I gave, and there was a few, they've done very well. And you can go back and watch the timestamps that are in the actual Twitter post of where it happened. But if you would have took our beam call 8 days ago and you got out at the top, let's be honest, nobody really ever does. But if you did, you're sitting at 80.25% in 8 days. If you're at its current price, you're sitting at 66.51%. Blockchain Bats, BCB was another one we called. Its high in 8 days was 44%. And if you're still holding it now, you're still sitting at 17.61%. And these are hella calls. It's amazing money. It's great money. And what we've done with these ones here, we're going to continue to watch them because we did call them on the show. And these are also longer holds. But we'll just leave them marked up and just check in on them and do it fairly quickly. So Cosmos was just actually one that was added recently. We had our retest, we got in, and we're in profit, healthy profit. We know, and we've talked about the retracements, money left the market, price goes down. You know, if you got in down here at the belly of the bear and you rode it up to here, yeah, you're taking profits. Yeah, you're taking profits. These aren't small numbers. Just from where we are to current price is 6.41%. And we did that in a few days. Okay. If you don't want to be trading in and out, we know we're going to ladder all the way back, probably up to here. And our major resistance is going to be at the weekly consolidation box. But we're walking up for our 18%. So far, we're on track. Phantom. Beauty. Love Phantom. I mean, oops. Again, there was our entry. And we go from the middle of our target to price today. We're at 10%. To all-time peak, we're at 12.2. We're starting to get a curl. We've broken this downward trend. It looks like we're starting to consolidate in here. If I'm in the long haul, I'm not scared right now, but I am watching. It would make sense that these lines can hopefully spread when we get our total market cap to start getting some money again. This is a major coin. And we've been in such a downward motion for a while. And when we look at the past, there's massive money. That's why this line is so steep. So
is there time for a quick question?
Absolutely.
Since we've moved to the top of that trend line.
This one?
any of them, because we're moving up a little higher. Can we throw the next few in there?
On
'Cause we
Phantom?
yeah,
Was that okay?
just quickly. I mean, if it's
Um,
oh yeah, you can go all the way up there too, man. That's great.
well, no, it already is what I'm saying. Give me a sec here, though. I got to get over this.
Yeah.
So get rid of that. You want to go from here, is what you're saying?
Oh, sorry. I was saying trend line. I meant sort of your points of support and resistance.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about that. Yeah, that's what I meant.
For Phantom right now on the daily, support and resistance. Make sure we're on the daily. Yep. Okay, so there's one right there, right? Right where we're at in here. Oh yeah, not locked. Right where we're at there and here, right? So we'll drop one right there, and we can go back fairly close there, sail through it there. Right where we're at price action right now, there's one right there, one right there. So it kind of makes sense where they're on price.
Makes sense why we're sitting there for a sec.
Yeah, there's one there.
Cool. Thank you.
No worries. And then same thing, what we can do, large price action there, jump. See the wick almost made it just under that, and that's where I'm taking my profits typically, is just under these support resistance lines, or my stop losses past them, so I don't get wicked out. So where we're at right now to our next levels here, $1.75, $5.15, 9.2, and just shy of 14, or just over 14.
Thank you for doing that.
My pleasure. And it looks like we may just start to have this rectangle of consolidation in here for a day or two, depending on money coming in, of course. And if that's the case, wait for it down. Wait for an entry in here. Zoom in on the 4 hour. I mean, we've been in since here. Not gonna, like I said, don't want to spend overly too much time on these ones. And then Kusama. There was our entry. We're still off to the races. If you're not in Kusama and you still want to get in, there's lots of room to go. This is where you don't FOMO, because we had a whole bunch of green over the weekend, right? Sorry, I meant to. It's 55% is what we're hopefully going to go for to get up back to these highs. Now, we're not going to get greedy. If this starts to really curve, we'll take our percentage. But right now, when we start to zoom in, looks healthy. Little retracement. Look how much it pulled back from. Just that pullback in the last day and a bit is 5%. Healthy signal. We could rip this apart, do new TA, but like I said, we're following the trade that we started a while ago. It's not what we're here to do with these ones. So those were 3 we've been doing live. If you're just tuning in on the time, if you're not in, just wait for the retracements. They're still on. These are all on the long haul, and they're still looking great. Great calls. Speaking of great calls, if you've been watching for a while, this is when we said to short the fuck out of Casper. And we continued to say that for quite a while. And then we started to feel bad about the ecosystem, so we didn't want to keep ragging it. But here we are. Right down, we said it had two two places it may go along this consolidation, and we were hoping for the cross and back up to the races. Or maybe it'll come down here and touch this weekly support. And look where it came down to. Now, even with this, we still have massive spread on our micro bear, micro bull. I don't want to move these just because this has been comical for me for almost 30 shows. And it's great to look at. And I mean, if somebody took this call and was still in it, you know, 28 days, you're at 31% if you shorted it. So what are we looking at today? Vulcan Forge Gaming, Senate Gaming, and Filecoin, which is IPFS storage. When we start to mark up these on the show, I'm not going to go into too much depth about what it actually is, because that's what you can do with CoinMarketCap and DYOR. I'll just do some quick what I'm seeing and why I think these here are some good things to get into. And if you don't know Vulcan Forge, it's a game system that a game that's been around for quite some time. The graphics are cool, and it has quite a large user base. And we know compression builds breakouts, and that's massive there. We have a lot of compression. We want to contest this area and then go up into these areas here, which when we're itty bitty like this, doesn't look like much. Trying to show you more history. But if we go from current price action to next major level of resistance, 64, next major level of resistance, 115, and then the next level is 200. So yeah, we're going to look at Vulcan Forge. Now we know we're not going to get massive rockets all the way up to those 100% right away. I say that when one of the coins on our list did over 10,000% today alone. Microcap on PancakeSwap, SCS, if you really want to go look. Never seen anything like it myself. So what I like to do is mark it up, add the indicators later, so we can check for a confluence. So the first thing I want to look at is where are our consolidation areas? Where is it resisting price right now? Where did it get to, come over, pull back to, and where is it fighting? Right in here. So we have a couple options. We could go up and say this is the box or area it's trying to get into. It's fighting. Or we could say this is the area it's trying to fight out of. We were talking in yesterday's show, it really doesn't matter where you do put these things, as long as you follow the principles of them. I like to look at where we're fighting to get out and where the support and resistance are, and try to just do it as best I can. And that seems to make sense. I mean, you can tighten it up on the bottom a little more and say this was resistance and support. But the point is we're trying to fight out of here. I'm going to take a parallel. So just with that alone, we can start to see we've broken out of the trend that has come down. We've retested this channel here and we're off, right? But I don't want to do past TA. I want to do present TA. And if you're playing by retest, that's the safest way to protect your capital. I like the belly of the bear indicator, but there's no guarantee that you're not having a dollar cost entry with that. Whereas these protect your asset a little more. So right now, just in this case, not looking at any indicators or anything else, we can tell we're trying to fight out of this area. Here's our resistance. It looks like our next area is going to be somewhere in here. Split that difference. We can see those wicks hit it, hits it there, all over in here. That wick massively hit it.
Do you have time for a question?
Fire away.
Ann America asked, could you draw your lines on the steeper reds? And then I think it's on the trend line she's talking about. Could you draw your lines on the steeper reds and then conclude it already broke out? Like right on that parallel channel.
Where's
Like if you move the parallel, the left side or the right side of the parallel channel down and you're going down to the red.
Yeah, that's what I just said. Absolutely, you can. And you've retested, but you retested for February 12th. So
Now
you've
we're
done
rechecking.
TA now of the past. You haven't done TA of the present. So yes, it retested here, but without any indicators, that doesn't tell us anything other than that. We can now have pullback right down into here. Your retests, when you get them, you're trying to catch those small percentages. Unless your indicators are telling you we're off to the races. That tiny little space, 5%. Wait for the retest, get up to the resistance, get out.
That's why we're always going from the last completed candle then, because
always.
we're really going from there.
Otherwise, you're doing past TA.
Okay.
Which is fine to practice, but don't expect the methods of the retest of the present to learn how to work it in the future. You got to do it on the current last candle. This is today's, that was yesterday's. Top of it, we're on top. Right? Now, technically, that might be a touch just, if you go to Wix, it probably, no, is that one touch, two touch, and we go back down for 3 touches to stay in this? That's a possibility right now. Retest down here and go. And maybe this is our best entry. Absolutely, that's a possibility.
Especially since we got a good 20 hours left. It could be a lot of movement.
Right. So this is why we wait for this candle to finish from the information today. Because if it finishes out here, we know we're off to the races. And we're probably in these areas. And these areas, as we just showed, this tiny little spot here was 5%. Price from here to here, 10. So that's, this is big money when we're talking about the 1% compounding, when you start to see how the difference between 1 and 1.5 is. Slower trades with higher numbers become massive. So this is all we've looked at right now in terms of analysis. 1 rectangle, 2 lines, and a parallel channel. That's it. And what it's already told us is we're waiting for a retest. We haven't had our 3 touches, and there's a chance it could bounce around in here unless we get that retest. What do our indicators tell us? Starting maybe possibly to curl. Maybe. Or maybe it's starting to just have a little bit of pullback because money left the market. And you got in what I call the belly of the bear. So where I like to get in is somewhere in here. I'll take a little bit of a loss to there. That's 17% in 9 days. Damn right, taking profit. Remember, if you want to play safe, we're waiting for the cross to happen. You wait for the pullback and you go, especially if you don't have the retest for that. And this was a retest. That would have been a beautiful one in that regard.
I know that it's not going to happen soon, but I'm so excited for my first 17.
Hey, your first one was like 8, so that's major bragging rights.
Just saying, 17.
Yeah. So when we look at it from this perspective, there's a lot of money even to just ride the pullbacks. So when people say, "Oh, I don't have a lot of time to trade," you don't have to take a lot of time. You can just quickly kind of check in once a day, every now and then, from its localized high here to its localized low. Took just a little over a month. Here it looks like, maybe 2.5 weeks. We know this is not going to just probably happen overnight. We stop at these support and resistance on the way up. People take their profits that are healthy. We have the indication. I'm going to wait for the retest. Yes, we're going to get into PYR. This is one of our slow trades that we're going to start to watch. But on the daily, I'm not sold we're at our best entry price. And this is where patience comes in. We can zoom in. Man, our movement direction hit. Now, it doesn't mean to short as it's going to go down. It's 70% chance to getting to that target line. And it's double check to see if it hit it because it's on the 4. When I show you how to use this, it's an amazing tool. But people get it confused. On the 4s, we're having these nice, healthy retracements. We still look healthy. We see how we retested that and I've already pulled out. On a slow trade, this looks good. Let's go down 30s.
Now, this is your usual domain, yes?
Listen a little, but I always zoom out and zoom in. I want to get the best value for my dollar, right? So if I know the daily trend, I know in a day there's lots of price volatility. I mean, this is just 15 minutes. And look at this price volatility, or 30-minute candles. So let's go from it fell to here, went even lower, and then got all the way up to here, which is 3% in 6 hours. That's huge. People don't think it is. They look
but it happens fast though.
And this is where people get wrecked because they think it's just going up here. So they buy on this retracement and then this happens and they panic. And then they would have been within the day right about exactly where they were. And that's where emotion will kill you in this lower time frame. You got to remember, like when you have zoomed out and you can see that we're off in that direction, don't let the pullbacks on the low time frame get you out or panic, because there will be big pushes. Look at these wicks. They're massive. This is a micro. This is an alt. This isn't Bitcoin or stuff. But we know with the history of this going, hello. And we're only in the back to trying to get up into this area. Whether or not we get up here, I don't know. That'll be market cap adoptability. But I do think we're going to get in these areas for sure. $147%, I'll take it. And we're going to play smart. We're going to take our money at the next levels of resistance, wait for the pullback, enter again. When we find good ecosystems and we start to learn them, why leave them? I mean, if you really want, you can short them on the way down. Make money on both ends. So we're going to continue to watch PYR, and I can't enter a actual, on our stuff yet. I really want to dig in. Today I did, as Kate was saying, I went through our entire list. So, and I didn't want to do it on stream because it really slows me down. I want to get you guys the entries. So we have roughly 150 tokens, trading pairs. I found 32 entries. that are not immediate. It's slow trades. We have time to find out when the best way to get in these are. But just because there was a whole lot of pump in the last little while doesn't mean we've missed anything. There's always another trade. There's big money to be made when you know how the money moves and you know where to look to take those opportunities. And then you have our tools. It's like, I'll put that all together. It's like cheat codes. Love it. So that is Vulcan Forge, PYR. I have no idea why it's called PYR and the company is Vulcan Forge. But I will dig a lot more into that to find the entries, and I'll be posting. You'll have them just like we have the previous calls that are recorded on YouTube. Can't lie when it's recorded. Senate. I'm excited about this one as well. Thank me later on this one. Yeah, I mean, we talk about compression building breakout. Kicking myself I didn't do more gaming during that, just out of curiosity. Cool, 2000%. But let's look at the big picture of where it's come from. If that was 2000%, again, we'll have to do some market research onto the market cap where we're at with the inflationary, deflationary. Haven't done all the research yet. But if this little tiny section in here is this, get the fuck out of here. So same thing again. Let's take off the indicators and we're going to deal with this localized here because we can see that this was compression since its birth. And sorry, you're going to have to give me a sec. I was only looking for what was ready to pop, not where they were at. Because sometimes it is better to do it with you guys. So here I'm going to go a little different. I want to see where we're breaking into because there has been a lot of resistance. But when it sailed through on the ups, it does so fairly quickly. Or on the downs, it looks like it takes another day or two. Minus that one. We know we want to get in, retest it, and then we're bouncing around, it looks like, in this rectangle. And the reason I wanted to do it this way is because I want to know how much are we bouncing around. Because if we know we're going to go up, contest it, and then go back down, how many opportunities do we have in these W formations to make 23%? Big fan of that number. I like that number. Ooh, bear with me. My apologies. That's all I'm going to do. All right. Now, going to mark it so I know. And you can see we were in a downward motion. If we know this is 22 and this is a whole lot of goddamn, of course people are going to take some profits. Right? Now we're starting to get this W. Can we retest it in here? If not, we'll get a better entry and this 20 will probably come down here. Right? But we're looking for the retest in this. If not, we're either going to short or we're going to win. What tells us that? Our indicators and, a couple of trend lines. So here, instead of a parallel channel, just to keep it different, we'll just use an actual trend line. They're all gray because they're on the daily. If anybody's new, if you are, welcome, welcome, welcome. So even just following these bottoms here, we could see that on the technical side, we could, the further we go back in history, which is typically stronger. Now this is dirty. We could still technically, like we were saying, come start to bounce in and around here, and we would want this retest. But on the shorter time frame, and we know the market has changed since then. And this came up from, I think, Targaryen the other day. Why didn't I put this so far back on another token? I can't remember which this time, sorry. You could go on a shorter one. This is your most localized in the last few weeks. And there you are. And you've broken, and you're still trying to walk up this point, which is giving you confluence of trying to stay, or get into rather, this daily consolidation box. It's also on the shorter time frame showing us three touches and a pullback, which is bringing us right into the same area. There's a lot of confluence right now just in the technical analysis. And this is where it gets tricky, because if we're looking for an entry, it could very much easily look like it's coming down into here. And this is where we use our indicators. We're getting plateau. We know plateau builds consolidation. Consolidation builds breakouts. Makes sense that it would plateau and we would have pullback when a whole bunch of money left the market. And we're talking small little gaming tokens. So far, everything starts to make sense. We've had a lot of downs, some good up, a little bit of pullback, maybe some, and off to the races. And makes sense to have pullback, because if you got in here in a week, you're at 33 some odd percent. This is like our beam call at 80. Why wouldn't I get into beam right now? Because people like me that called it 8 days ago are getting the fuck out. They're taking their money out of the market. And that's why I said yesterday, don't panic. Don't chase the green. Don't FOMO. Did I leave money on the table by cashing out Friday when I said I didn't want to think about it on the weekend? Sure. But I got hella entries, and I'm not going to complain about taking profit, especially when you take very healthy amounts.
There's a lot of conversation about that on the Discord in the last few days, about what people cashed out of early on, and kind of missing the fact that they missed out on that. But the other option is that you wait long enough and it plummets, and then you're sitting there having a very different conversation, not have taken that 1, 2, 3%. So it's it's just like friggin' surfing, man. There's always another there's always another wave coming. You just have to wait for the set to start.
It's that exactly. It's that FOMO. It's you're missing out. You're seeing the crypto bubbles grow huge with big green numbers, and I want to get in. But that's when you become exit liquidity. That's when I say thank you for your money, because that's when I'm getting out. And, lambs on the menu, as we always say. So where are we next? I got to get back to my screen here, guys. Sorry. So same thing with Senate. This is a hell of a long trade. Do I know if we have the best entry right now? No. So do I want to give you a price point right now where I'm saying, hey, let's buy Senate? Nope. Why? Because I wouldn't be buying it right now. I'll dig in the next little bit and see. But what is this telling us? Boom. On the 4 hour, we're going to get a better buy. We know there's lots of money to be made in the token, but let's buy it smartly. We might even get, just like Casper, this inverse. And if that happens, or if we start to see it, it's a hell of a short because it's the same amount of percentage. And if you don't want to short, we look for a different long. We look for a different entry. But that's what patience is about. And that's why patience is a big part of the strategy. I'm sitting on the sidelines right now with money because I cashed out. I found 32 entries for everybody today. I'm itching to get in the market. But I know it's not the right thing. And that just comes with experience. And then sharing those feelings, like you said, oh, I could have had a little bit more, but you took profits. Would you rather have some money or no money? Because the other side of that coin is you should have got out because it tanked, because everybody took the profits before you. Hindsight's always 20/20. But if you're noticing a consistent pattern where the micro bear and bull are still spread and you are missing a lot of profit, keep that in your journal. Remember, in our journal of every trade, we're keeping our success notes and our loss notes. When we win, it's always not the best win. Absolutely, we're leaving money on the table. Sometimes it is the best win. You're like, oh, holy fuck, I got out of the top. Whoa. Right? And you take those notes as to why you think you did. So when you go back after 60, 80 trades, you're learning from your past. If you don't do that, you're not going to remember. And you'll stay an average trader. I always say it's not the sexy part of trading, but it'll make you a better trader to the point of percentiles. And we already know adding on percentages in this game is ridiculous. All right, where were we? My bad. On a tangent.
Going to file coin, I think.
That is where we're at.
Sweet.
So Santa, looking on the 4 hour, like we're going to get a better entry. I will be making posts about this in the Discord of where I think it's going to happen. I'll talk a little more about that in a second. Filecoin, IPFS. You can get into this on CoinMarketCap. Let's get rid of the indicators. This, when we also start to look out in the past, is a beaut. We talk about compression. What's the C word there, Kate? Help me out here.
Capitulation.
So what we really want to see, again, market cap, is it reasonable to get up to these levels? I don't know, but it would probably stand to reason we're going to get up to at least these, at the very least. And when we look at something like this, with such longevity, great team, and from there to there is 353%. We can only imagine what if we get to whatever these levels are. Hence why we're going to look at this. And I've done well with this token before. I do have experience with File. I'm a fan. And right now we've had a lot of compression, and we're in a nice little wedge. Same thing. We're looking for some retests right now. When I say I found 32 entries, all of them pretty much are waiting for retests, right? And that to me is a beautiful thing. Because if we get the retest, we're off to the races. And that usually equates to money. Just got to find the horses, right? Everything in this space is like animals. And on that note, you probably noticed I talk about sheep, chicken, whales, bears, bulls. we got this nice trend happening. Profits made, reconciliation, profits made, consolidation. We're fighting this consolidation for sure. This box right here. Here's your resistance of it. Up here. Same here. It's holding it right now. It wants to start walking like it walked up, down. Totally looks like it does. Current price. It's a localized high. Reckon we could probably do 37-ish% in the next month. Went down that much. Probably makes sense we'll go up that much, especially when we know its all-time highs are off the charts. Apologies. This looks juicy to me. This excites me. This is sensible money. We're getting our retest right now from yesterday's candle. You can already see it's fighting in this one little spot. It's only been 4 hours, but that's a hella consolidation in these 4 hours. On the 4 hours, this is our retest. This would have been a great entry. On the daily, we don't know yet. And that's why I'll say I want to go find and dig a little deeper, because it looks like we're going to have compression. Makes sense that past areas had some compression, right? Hammers always kind of scare me when they're on this end. They do kind of pull down a bit typically. Inverse hammers tends to take off. But it also goes with their patterns, and we have this. So to me, again, like we've talked about, this is, let's find our nice entry. And we hold it. This is slow trading. And if we get a nice, decent bump, we're going to take the profits, write it back down, and then get in again. Because why just take 37 and 33% when we can ride a little bit of the up and downs? And all it is a bing in Discord to go, hey, we're looking at this, or tuning in, for an hour and getting caught up on these actual tokens. Oh, lost my cursor. No, don't connect to my other computers.
I tried to move your screen with my mouse not long ago, like a genius.
I just lost my mouse. Hold on.
Trackpad it is.
No, it's locked in the computers behind me, and now I can't do anything. Nuts.
All your computers are killing it in the back now.
I apologize, guys. I'm trying to get this sorted right now for you. Hold on. I don't know what to do. Seriously.
Oh, just turn it off.
I can't.
Yeah.
Technology is painful sometimes.
I'm having a great time.
When you use one mouse to run multiple systems and then it gets lost on other computers. Here we are. We are back.
You're back. You're back.
I apologize. And that's sometimes why I've been leaving them off the last little bit as well. So when we're looking at the slow trade versus the long, the in and outs that we talk about on the Discord, and you don't want to trade often, you don't have a lot of time, you don't have to worry about these retracements, because if in a month you do 33%, 30, 20, 18. Some of these calls have been like even 4 times that. It doesn't matter on these little retracements. But if you're trying to get those smaller percentages and stack every day, sometimes those are different tokens that we look at versus slow trades. And we'll get into that more once I've got these bunch all lined up for all of you. And we can start looking at, okay, these are the good slow trades. And then once we have those all in place, then I'm going to start playing around and finding the fast trades. And I will stream, absolutely. I'll stream some of those. So a little teaser. If you've been watching the show, like I said, we've been doing all the farm animals. Who's a sheep? Who's a chicken little? What we're going to do is we're going to have the token names in the middle, the entry price plus or minus a little bit where good entry is, and then where we're looking to exit. So you have that general idea and you don't have to tune in every day, and when you have that in the Discord, we're going to do one better than that. We're going to be giving you these for each section. So we'll give you my top 3 picks in gaming, in protocol, in layer 2, and the same thing. You'll get the entries, the exits, but we don't have enough time in this hour to go over each section, the entries and the exits. So we're just going to focus on the ones that we have been, the ones that we introduced today, and kind of just go back to keep our focus on those. But if you're in the Discord, you'll notice there's a new channel, or maybe you haven't. I know some have, that it says Slow Trades. All of these will be posted in there. So you can refer to them whenever. You can look at where we said we would enter, where it is currently then, and make that decision yourself. Always.
And this is, I was just going to say that. This is not financial advice, of fucking course, but, do your own research, check out the things that Pope says. And if you have a question about it, ask for some follow-up, because you may see something that we don't. You'll definitely see something that I don't. So.
Rookie Mouser. Yes.
I think that's Moussier.
Moussier, my bad. I love it. Pro streamer. I'm getting the heckles right now.
You absolutely are.
This is awesome. Say no worries. This is my first live and it's been awesome. Appreciate that, buddy. It has been hilarious. Bunny giving us that. Is the Chicken Little stuff new? No, we've been keeping a little bit of the track here. I'm more the sheep. I'll make the dumb sheep decisions every now and then, whereas the Crypto Katie is a little more of the.
I can't do it. I buckle before I make a trade. I've gotten better. 9 days, Desi.
The hesitation kills, and that's why I have the sheep as my PFP, because we're like, don't be a sheep, don't follow, don't be a Richard, don't be a dick. That kind of a thing. And we're just trying to have fun. And we know that a lot of people don't actually teach finance and you don't get it. These skills handed down in a lot of places. And we wanted to make it approachable and fun for people of all ages. So we've kind of gone with, since there's already a lot of animals in the financial space, we're going to run with that. We've got lots of surprises still coming for you all around this. So we're hoping you're enjoying it. Plus the calls. We've been smashing.
The turtle for the slow trades is my favorite.
Oh, right.
He's so damn cute.
Right. So, the Wiley thing and, chicken little. So with that, we're just before the hour. I can't believe we got all that in. Again, thank you for everybody that tunes in, for everybody that watches. Show number 27. Crazy. Hard to believe. But I appreciate all of you guys. And that's all I've got. Crypto Katie, how about you?
Yeah, guys, it's been a while. And thanks for sticking with us. And keep going with us. We're all going to be turtles. And because it's so damn cute, I don't mind being a turtle. Thanks, everybody. Pope, see you tomorrow. What do you think?
Yeah, you will. And I love the rabbits for the fast trade. We'll probably totally have to incorporate that.
Totally.
Ladies and
Totally.
gentlemen,
Ciao, ciao.